I'm Nancy Scales-Coddington, and here's what's happening in science this week, May 18th through the 23rd, 2026. Astronomy fans are having a very good week right now. Scientists just discovered an asteroid, and today it's flying unusually close to Earth. Asteroid 2026 JH2 is passing about 56,000 miles away from Earth, which is closer than the moon. Now, before anyone starts panicking and buying canned beans, NASA says there's no danger of an impact. But here's the wild part. Astronomers only discovered this asteroid just a few days ago. The space rock is roughly the size of a blue whale, and it's moving about 20,000 miles per hour. Flybys like this help scientists practice asteroid tracking and planetary defense systems, so if one day something bigger comes along, they're ready, which honestly feels like humanity's most stressful group project. Tonight, the crescent moon is lining up with Venus. The best viewing is about 8:45 to 10 p.m. Meteors are still visible in the early morning left from Halley's Comet, and a rare blue moon is coming later this month. SpaceX is getting ready for Starship Flight 12 as early as this Wednesday, May 20th. And this test flight is full of ambitious engineering experiments. And this is one of the first flights of the next generation Starship and Super Hybrid vehicles powered by the new Raptor 3 engines. So what are engineers watching for during this launch? First, stage separation, where Starship uses a technique called hot staging. And this means the upper stage engines ignite before fully separating from the booster below it. So for a few seconds, one rocket is basically firing while still attached to another rocket. SpaceX added a vented ring between the stages to handle this insane heat and exhaust during separation, which looks unhinged, but it's actually designed to make the system more efficient for future Moon and Mars missions. They will also be testing the deployment of 20 Starlink simulator payloads, and then they're going to attempt something super important. They're going to restart a Raptor 3 engine while already in space, which they have done. Future Moon and Mars missions will need engines to restart multiple times for things like orbital maneuvering, lunar landings, and eventually getting off of Mars. Instead of attempting a tower catch this time, the booster will perform a series of controlled maneuvers before splashing down in the Gulf. But honestly, the wildest part is engineers are intentionally removing one of Starship's heat shield tiles before launch to see how the spacecraft handles the extreme heat of re-entry. Previous flights lost heat shield tiles during re-entry, so this mission is testing how the system handles failure. They want to see how nearby tiles handle the heat if one of them is missing. Every Starship launch is basically a flying science experiment. And apparently the path to Mars is build a stainless steel skyscraper and yeet it into the atmosphere. Scientists are watching the Pacific Ocean very closely right now because El Niño conditions could reshape weather patterns later this year. El Niño is a natural climate pattern that happens when parts of the Pacific Ocean become unusually warm, which can shift weather patterns around the world. Hotter temperatures, which impact the growing seasons. We could have heavier rainfall amounts and flooding, which also impact farming. We have drought conditions, and that impacts wildfires. So while Pacific Ocean temperature anomalies may sound boring, the weird summer weather that they can create usually aren't boring. And finally, this week, apparently there's a scientifically important birthday happening on Saturday.